Okay, back to the casting here for a minute. These two, oh man, you can't see. Zooming in. Can't see those now anyways. I'll show you those in a minute. Alright, back to casting. Okay, these are the pieces that I cast out of that P3-c. Okay, you can see them down here on the bottom. It's kind of hard to tell. Okay, and then there's the big motor-ish type thing in the background there. I've got pipes sticking off it. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, the little piece of rebar there, of course, is just rebar I-beam. You know, you just make those out of coffee stir sticks. They work really good. Okay. Rebar, might as well talk about rebar. Okay, different ways of making rebar. Now in something like this, okay, it's a game piece, and we're going to have our nice little miniatures that we've painted, you know, going in there. So I don't really like having too much metal, but for rebar sticking out of the concrete and stuff, you know what works really good in a diorama is those paper clips, the big jumbo paper clips. You know, they've got the crosshatch knurls on them and everything, eh? They'll actually even rust using an oxidizing agent, but you can paint them with that metal anyways. They'll come out just like rusty rebar. You can bend them into shape, have long ones hanging down, but I mean, they'll scratch the jeebus out of your hand, eh? So if I want long ones hanging down, usually what I do is I'll use a piece of wire, you know, a fine like telephone wire, and I'll stick that in the top, you know, I'll stick that in there, and then just have that hanging down. Then it's kind of soft for moving around, but it does. The paint comes off it, so you got to touch it up every now and then. Hey, this case these are just wooden toothpicks, and on top here I'm not going to have any actually, because I keep scratching my arm and stuff. Now, I was going to show you those other cast pieces. Couldn't really figure out what to use over here, but for the lizard men they'll work really good. Of course, they fell down the front here. Oh, here's one. Anyways, they'll look really cool doing something with the lizard men. They've got that kind of Aztec-y type shape to them. I'm going to use a little bit of this cardboard that I found off packing. It's really small, what do you call this stuff? Corrugated steel. This is all black right now, so you probably can't see it, okay? Yeah, no biggie deal. I'm not going to do any more detailing on this yet. You know, like I punched in some holes and stuff, you know, give it a couple starburst patterns. When you punch your hole in, you know, have it wide from the outside, it kind of crumbles that way, or, you know, it all depends. You know, it all depends, each to his own. I like this kind of effect, because most people will be looking at your work from the outside rather than from inside the building, you know. Very few nerds, you know, get down there and look at it, you know. The people that you want to take notice, like, you know, the old man or whatever, you know, they'll come by and kind of, yep. You know, that, yeah, okay. So, anyways, they'll only look at it from the outside. Okay, that's why you do all the detailing kind of on the outside type thing, and on the inside, I mean, you have a bunch, but it's, yes. Here's that pipe that I stuck up on top. This will actually look really good. Come on, stupid thing. That'll look really good. Anyways. That's what I wanted to kind of show you on casting. Guess it's time to goop. We're going to goop all this stuff now. Here's the Zigurat that I'm doing, the Hobbit house. So I'm going to goop it all here together. If you forgot or if you can't find my goop recipe, check out my website. It's on there. You know, just type my name in. You should be able to find it. Well, it says on my channel page. I'm going to goop all these things. I'm going to goop a little bit more on that. I was going to tell you how to do it. Yeah. Where the heck is that? Okay. I mix acrylic caulking, okay, with some white glue, okay, and because otherwise you can't mix this stuff up, okay. So depending on how much you're going to use, I'm going to mix up a whole batch because I'm going to goop all this stuff. So I mix these together into kind of a slurry type paste, okay? Then you slowly add water to that, stirring to make it, you know, up to the volume that you kind of want. And then I filter in with a sifter, like a flour sifter, you know, one of those round ones. You can just kind of scoop it out of your bag of plaster and just kind of sift it in as you're stirring it, hey? And get it to about as thick as you want it. I kind of vary a little bit. It'll thicken up, it'll set on you too. What do they call that? Slaking. It'll kind of slake on you. You can stir it up you know, at that point, hey, it'll settle too. So yeah, but anyways, I want a thin slurry for doing these kind of bricks, hey. I'm going to kind of do a jabbing method with my brush to force it into the cracks, okay. And then I want a thicker one to go on this, okay. And if you want it really tough, you have to let that first coat dry and then put on another coat. So like on our little Hobbit house here, this already has one coat on it. So the second coat will go on way better, okay? That's why between coats is when I do stuff like the brickwork around the door and the chimney and stuff. And, you know, I added in this little garden, and you can't really tell here, but I've sort of extended the hill a little bit more artistic from the door, like, you know, like, it just blends better. Usually, because I like doing a little flower garden in among the walkway into the doors on these things, okay? So, I'm going to go ahead and mix up that goop, coat all these ones, and